The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Erin Holscher. I'm the Business Development Coordinator here at ASTA. I will be the organizer for today's presentation, New Horizons in Small Ship Cruising with Scenic and Emerald Cruises. One of today's webinar attendees will win a $50 Amazon gift card. You must be on the presentation from the beginning to end to win. We will announce the winner live after the Q&A session. Before we get started, I'd like to point out a few very important features on your screen that will allow you to interact with us via the web. We will be answering your questions at the end of the presentation. To ask a question, you will use your GoToWebinar pane. Near the bottom of this pane is an area that says Questions. If you click on the arrow next to where it says Questions, it will open up a window pane. This is what you will use to communicate with us. If you are having trouble hearing the presentation, please make sure your speakers are turned on, and if you called in, try hanging up and dialing back in again. You can send any technical issues via the questions pane, and I will try my very best to answer them. I will respond to you via that same pane. Please also note that all audience members are muted. We certainly want to hear from you, but we have so many people on the call that the background noise would be prohibitive. And we want to ensure that everyone can listen to the entire presentation. Finally, remember that this webinar is being recorded and available on demand viewing at asta.org/video resources in a few short days. Please join me in welcoming Tim Birch, Regional Sales Director with Scenic and Emerald Cruises. Take it away, Tim.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you all for joining me on this webinar. First, I want to start off by thanking you all for your business. It's obviously been some trying times here lately, but we really do appreciate your business at the Scenic Group here. So we really do appreciate that. I'm the Regional Sales Director. I'm based in the Midwest. We have 7 wonderful Regional Sales Directors throughout the country that are there, and we're here basically to help anything you need to grow our business together. So again, keep that in mind. Hopefully you can reach out to your Regional Sales Director if you have any issues or groups or anything like that. So with that said, I just would like to start off by kind of giving you an overview of both Scenic, Luxury, River, and also Emerald. And I thought it would be important to kind of give you a history of what our company is all about. First of all, the screen that you see right now, you've got Scenic, you've got the Scenic Luxury Yacht on the right-hand side, then you've got Scenic River, and then on the bottom right, you have our Emerald, brand new, beautiful yacht that we have, and I'll get into details on that in a little bit. And then, of course, Scenic River. But with that said, I'm frozen. Hold on a second. Okay. So with that said, we're actually, Glenn is our owner, and the man is amazing. He's very innovative, and that shows in everything that he's done in the last 35 years. You know, we're basically now in our 36 years as a company, and I just kind of wanted to give you just a brief overview of where we were and where we're going. But basically back in 1986, we basically expanded our scenic tours and throughout Australia and New Zealand. And then back in 1999, our guests began traveling to Canada, Alaska, and then making Scenic the region's leading tour operators. And then, of course, in 2006, then we got into the river cruise part of the story. In 2008, we were building our Scenic, beautiful, absolutely beautiful ships. And this is one area where I think it's really important to note is because, you know, Glenn is, as I mentioned a little bit early on, he's very innovative. And in 2012 is when we launched the Sun Lounge, which I'll get into a little bit during the presentation, but very innovative, and it's just a great thing. And then in 2013, we launched in south of France, and then in 2014 is when we launched the Emerald Cruise brand. And then, of course, in 2016, we ventured into Southeast Asia and the Douro in 2016, And back in 2017 with culinary was really the hot thing going on, and that's what we've done with on all of our ships. So I just kind of wanted to bring you up to speed as to where we started, where we're going, and go from there. So let me talk about the Scenic brand first and foremost, and I'm going to talk about the river first. The thing I'd love to talk about is that we're basically one-stop shop. When I say that, I mean the entire company. We're one-stop shop. We're inclusive, we're exclusive, custom-tailored itineraries. But again, most importantly, as I mentioned early on, we're very, very innovative. I would have to put, if I was to put Scenic River, luxury river, I'd say it's 5-star product without a doubt. All inclusive, personal service, 1-to-1 guest to staff ratio, butler service in every single suite. All meals are included. We have up to 4 dining venues on our ships, everywhere from casual to fine dining. Premium beverages all day, every day, not just at mealtime. And you can see, obviously, the list goes on and on and on. Self-service laundry facilities, complimentary Wi-Fi, and things of that nature. But that's the thing I love about on the Scenic side. We're absolutely all inclusive on all Scenic ships. Just kind of want to walk you through a little bit of our ships and start off with the best of the best, and that's our Royal Suite, which is absolutely gorgeous. Very contemporary ships, beautiful ships, very modern ships. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see our junior suites. And then on the right-hand side, that's our balcony suite. And then we close it off with our standard suites that we have on board the vessels. But again, I think the one thing I talked about innovation was the sun lounge. And if you could see on an example of this when you look out the balcony, say on the balcony suite, where it's the window, you just push a button and basically the window goes up and down, and it's wonderful, especially in the wintertime. So you could sit out in the balconies anytime of the year. So let's talk a little bit about dining and beverages, one of my favorites. So we start off with our in-suite dining. That's fantastic. And then we have basically our cafe, which is all-day dining. I'm going to get into these in a little bit, La Amour, and then also Table La Rive. So let's just, I want to address our team first, because, we can have beautiful ships, great destinations, fantastic culinary program, great excursions, the whole 9 yards, but it really boils down to, and this not only applies to the Scenic side, but also the Emerald side. It's really about our team on board our ships. And we take a lot of pride. We take a lot of pride shore side, on the sales side, marketing side, but also the team on board. They're absolutely fantastic. And again, we can offer the best of the best, but if our team on board doesn't deliver, then it's all for naught, really. I kind of want to walk you through a day really quick in Europe with Scenic. Early risers, for those that like to get up nice and early, have a little coffee, Danish, whatever. And then in the morning, obviously they can have their coffee and then explore, go morning exploring. And then, during the afternoon, we have come back to the lunch to the ship if they choose to, afternoon sightseeing, dinner, and then of course, entertainment in the evening. Typically that would be local entertainment. So again, to look through a couple of the balcony suites, butler service, laundry facilities, and our Royal Owner Suite. We have vitality pools and spas on board the vessels. Fantastic, wonderful. Crystal dining. The thing I want to point out with our crystal dining room is this dining room is located on deck 3, which is basically, again, only 4 decks, but deck 3. The thing I love about the crystal dining room is how open it is. It's obviously the windows, and it's just a great viewing area. And that's one thing that we really take a lot of pride in, especially in the crystal dining room. Portobello's fine dining. Basically, that is Italian. It's 5-course 5-course meals, 32 guests typically, and they can dine once in Portobello's during the course of their cruise. Table La Rive is exclusive dining for our Diamond Deck guests only. 6-course menu with sommelier, paired wines, intimate dining for an average of 10 guests per evening. And keep in mind that for our Portugal sailings, that is actually called Table d'Or. The River Cafe, as I mentioned earlier, this is all-day dining, morning till night. Great place to just relax and just maybe just grab a biscotti or whatever you want during the course of the day. And I just kind of wanted to give you an idea as to where our ships sail on the river. And I failed to mention, and I apologize, but I failed to mention that on the Scenic side, we have 15 river ships. And then I'll get into our beautiful luxury yachts. So, as I mentioned, we have 15 river ships on the Emerald side. We have 9 just recently. We added the Luna on the Emerald side. So we feel that we have the rivers covered. We really do. So we started to get into beautiful luxury ocean cruising. And I have to tell you, when I joined the company, I was fortunate enough to sail on the Scenic Eclipse in Saudi Arabia. And I have to tell you, I'm a cruise guy, and the ship is absolutely gorgeous. 18,000 tons. We have 200 guests when we're in the polar region, and then we have 228 guests when we sail throughout other areas, Central America, Panama, even the Northwest Passage and areas like that. I had to add this slide in because we're really, really pleased and happy to announce that the Scenic Eclipse 2 is actually being built as we speak. She'll be out in March of 2023. So we'll have 2 absolutely gorgeous Scenic Eclipse ships out. And they're, again, like I said, they're just state of the art. You know, a colleague of mine told me that when she was on the Eclipse with one of her clients basically said that, you know, if they wanted a great destination, especially like Antarctica, that if they want 10 dining options, then you just have to stop right there because nobody offers that in the polar regions. So again, just as I talked about on the Scenic on River, we truly are all-inclusive on the Eclipse and soon to be on the Eclipse 2. Ultra luxury suites, I'll talk a little bit about that. Our dining and the spaces we have on board, and of course the butler and the Scenic Discovery enrichment and free choice options. I love this shot because another colleague of mine said that he actually was on this cruise, and all of a sudden the guests started to head back to the ship, and the captain basically made an announcement, you know, please, you know, we just like you to stand still and just wait a little bit before we get on board. And just as they had said that, they did it intentionally. Just the penguins just start coming and coming and coming, and it was just such a treat for our guests. I met the director of our discovery team when I was on board the Eclipse, and I got to tell you, this guy is amazing. He knows everything about the discovery world, and he's got a great team on board. I mentioned earlier on when, you know, we have 200 in the polar region. The reason we have that is because his team makes up for the additional 28 cabins. So it's or berths. Great team in place. Imagine this: walking onto a ship with 2 helicopters and 1 submarine, and that's what we feature on board the Eclipse. Underwater, on the water, we have kayak excursions, things of that nature. We also have paddle boarding. You know, this may look easy, but I have to share, this just happened to me this past weekend, and I've been going to our cottage for the last 2, 3, 4 years, and every time I've tried to get on a paddleboard, I fall and fall every single time. Finally, this past Saturday, I'm glad to announce that I was able to get up on my paddleboard for all of about 3 seconds, but at least I got up. But again, paddleboarding, fantastic sport, wonderful sport, but imagine doing it in this area of the world. Again, very unique discoveries that, as I mentioned before, the Discovery team is absolutely awesome. Observation lounge, beautiful, beautiful view at of the bow and looking out. It's very, very comfortable. Panorama bar, which is on deck 10. Again, great area for our guests just to relax and enjoy all the sights that they see on all of our destinations. Sensi Spa, which is, again, fantastic. We have a yoga and Pilates studio on board the vessels. And our Scenic lounge is, this kind of is the main lounge area. Obviously, our guests can partake in whatever they want in other areas of the ship, but this really is the main focus of the lounges that we have on board. One thing that I was very, very impressed with is the dining options. We have, and this is a ship, keep in mind, of only 18,000 tons and 200 guests, or 228. We have 10 dining options on board this ship. It's absolutely fantastic. 10 dining options. So let me just go through a couple of them real quick. We have the Azzurra Bar and Cafe. Again, fantastic place to have lunch and also dinner if you so choose, and breakfast. So great area. The Yacht Club is, again, another dining option, typically for breakfast and lunch. Actually, this is really, I think I have breakfast here every day. And then, of course, you can have some lunch in the Yacht Club. Elements, I'd have to say Elements. I'd probably put Elements in a steak, seafood area. That's, again, very, very beautiful. The thing, again, as I mentioned before, that I love about how many options we have, if we have all of our guests that come that want to dine at the same time, they have that option. Lumiere's, obviously, is our French cuisine, and that is with an open kitchen. Reservations are required. Coco's, this Coco's is basically, obviously, it's our Asian restaurant, and then we have sushi at Coco's, which is more Asian fusion. And the one thing I loved about the ship, and basically all of our ships, is the artwork on board our vessels. They're all hand-picked, which is wonderful. Night markets at Coco's. When I was on the ship, we actually had Indian fare that evening, and it was an 8-course, fantastic 2.5-hour experience that, quite honestly, it's just amazing. And we seat a total of 8 people at night markets at Coco's. And then there's Chef's Table. Chef's Table is invitation only, and it's basically based on where you are located on the ship as far as cabin category, and obviously our very loyal past clients. And our Epicurean program is again, fantastic. This would be the last dining option, obviously, with in-suite dining for breakfast or for dinner. Personal butler service in all of our suites on board, not only the Eclipse, but I probably failed to mention, or maybe I didn't, but on all of our river ships too, butler service. Just want to throw out a few of our suites. We have a deluxe veranda suite, 344 to 430 square feet. Again, very spacious, beautiful, beautiful cabins. Then we have our spa suite with the spa suite bathroom, fantastic. Our owner's penthouse, which is a little under 2,100 square feet. And I mean, look at this absolutely amazing view from the private terrace in the penthouse suite. And I will also say that we tend to book the upper suite categories first, and then the lower second, and then middle range third. So it's very important that if you have clients that are looking at down the road, that they really need to book early to secure the suite of their choice. So now I want to get into the Emerald side of the coin here, and again, both with on the river cruising side and then also with the yachts. Basically, whereas on the Scenic side, it's all inclusive. We're pretty much, I'd say, almost inclusive by choice on the Emerald side. And I would have to say that it's more of an upper premium brand product. All meals on board are included. We do wine, beer, and soft drinks with lunch and dinner. We do have, obviously, we have a liquor program if they want packages. But I think the key here is, and really what sets us apart from others, is the port charges are included. All tips are taken care of, not only on board the vessel, but also during their shore excursions too. The one thing that our boss has always said, it's the beauty, especially on the Scenic side, and also a little bit more on Emerald, is the fact that, you know, our guests basically could just leave their wallet at home. So, but that's one thing that sets us apart on the Emerald side also. I have to change this slide because it basically says 8 ships. We actually have 9 ships now, as we just took possession of the Luna about 30 days ago, I believe, and she'll be christened in the middle of July. Number of guests anywhere from 112 to 180 guests. You could see 4 decks, obviously, Reflections Restaurant, Terrace Dining, and I'll get into that in just a second. Basically, I just kind of wanted to give you an overview as to where our starships sail. You can see all the fine destinations that we have on our program between, you know, basically the month of March through the end of November. Great, lot of choices. So let's just walk through a few of the suites or the cabins, basically anywhere from 160 to 180 square feet. And again, the thing I love about the Emerald product is, again, just how it's just again, very contemporary, very modern, just absolutely beautiful ships. Our grand balcony suite, and then one of our 1-bedroom owner suites, and then the luxury ensuite. And if I could just, I just want to make one comment that I unfortunately wasn't on the ship, but Anne, who's our Vice President of Sales, and a few of my colleagues, they were on board during the ASTA in Budapest. And then fortunate enough, we had a lot of ASTA agents, or they all ASTA agents, sailed on Emerald. And the comments that they were receiving back from the ASTA agents were fantastic. So many of them said, you know, we just didn't realize, I mean, we knew that you had a great product, but this is just over the top, absolutely over the top. So we got huge kudos from all the ASTA attendees that were on the ship most recently, is about a month and a half ago. Talk about innovation. I talked about Glenn and how innovative he is, and this is a perfect reflection of that. You know, so we have a heated indoor pool on board the ships. And then, you know, think about this, sitting at the pool, looking out over the water, into the water, and seeing the land. It's just so relaxing and so different and so unique. But then in the evening, we convert her into our cinema. So pool is transformed to the cinema at night. No, there's not just seating for 6 people. It's actually seats up to 40 of our guests. What a great, great idea. And again, very innovative. And that's what we're all about at the Scenic Group, innovation. Our demographics, I would have to say on the Emerald side is probably, I'd say somewhere in the area of 50 on up. On the Scenic side, we're looking at 60, 62 on up. But with the 50 on up, we get a lot of Emerald, we got a lot of active excursions and things of that nature. So I always like to refer to it as Emerald Active. on board the vessel. So now I'd like to talk about the yacht on the Emerald side. As I mentioned before, Emerald River, we have Scenic River, beautiful 15 ships, and then we have 2 new ships coming, or 2 ships on the with the Eclipse. And so we just, as I mentioned earlier, we just launched the Luna, and these are absolutely beautiful luxury yachts, absolutely gorgeous. The Luna just came out, again, like I said, a month ago, and her sister ship will be coming out in 2023. So imagine that. We've gone from having all river ships to now we're going to have, at the end of 2023, we'll have 4 luxury yachts. Again, 2 on the Emerald side, 2 on the Scenic side. And quite honestly, I envision more on the Scenic side in addition to what we have or will have at the end of 2023. So this is kind of the future for our company, I believe. And it's very, very exciting because we fill a void, I believe, that nobody else can actually fill on the, in Europe or wherever. So we have the Emerald Azzurra and the Sakara. The Sakara will be coming out in 2023, as I mentioned before. 100-passenger yachts. This is ideal. Absolutely, this ship is ideal for your clients that maybe if they have some incentive business, group business, charter business, what have you. But it's only 100 guests on board. And like I said, on the Eclipse, it's 200 and 228. Just to kind of give you an overview of our super yachts, obviously we have all the toys, the bells and whistles with the marina platform, our, again, Zodiacs, the Terrace Cafe will show a little bit of that, pool, wellness area, reflections, observation deck, and the sky bar. I mean, look at this absolutely gorgeous infinity pool. The reports that we're getting back on Luna are outstanding over the last, again, 4.5, 5 weeks, are absolutely outstanding. And this is several comments about our infinity pool and our pool cafe. Stunning views. The sky deck and spa pool. And again, sky bar. This is outdoors, folks. This is outdoors. Beautiful, obviously a gorgeous view with the screen up for movies and such in the evening. The Horizon Bar and Lounge, again, just as I mentioned on the Eclipse, we have one kind of main area. This would also apply to on the Emerald side, on the Sakara and the Azzurra. This is the Horizon Bar and Lounge. Reflections Restaurant, again, main restaurant. If you look out, beautiful, beautiful views. If you notice one thing, I actually had this pointed out to me by one of my advisors who I was doing a show for. They had a group of 28 cabins, I believe, but one thing they loved about it, they actually did a preview. They went to see the ship, and one thing about this is it's all open, and pretty much there's no booths to speak of. So, but Reflections Restaurant is pretty much the main restaurant, and then we have the Terrace, obviously outdoors, and the Observation Lounge. Again, bright, airy, beautiful, just very cosmopolitan, very contemporary. And we're so excited to have this. Again, you always have to have a gym and wellness area. This is used by, I would assume, quite a bit. It's obviously smaller than you would normally get, but again, it's a ship of only 100 passengers. Just to kind of give you an idea with our cabins, our bedding, and things of that nature, but queen size or twin hotel style beds with Egyptian cotton linen. As I mentioned before, the in-suite bathrooms, and again, on and on and on. Flat screen TVs, complimentary water restocked daily, complimentary Wi-Fi, individual climate controlled mini bars, and obviously quite a bit more. Just as we do on the Emerald Rivers, on both the Azzurra and soon to be Sakara, same thing. Wine, beer and wine at lunch and dinner, but we do have beverage packages that are available for the guests that sail on the super yachts. Just kind of walk through a couple of the staterooms. The entry level, the Oceanview Stateroom, quite nice, very nice, big picture window. And then our balcony suites, our deluxe balcony suites, and then the Terrace, and then also our Yacht Suite. Again, very contemporary, very clean, fantastic, and our owner suite. So again, the Emerald Azzurra Super Yacht is sailing as we speak. And just to kind of give you an idea, a sense as to where she will be sailing to: the Western Med, Adriatic Coast, the Eastern Med, and the Red Sea. One thing I do want to point out before I forget, but I know that we just announced that there will be a Emerald yacht ship in the Caribbean, Central America, and much more. We just announced that 2023 and 2024. So just before I forgot that. Again, just some of the public areas. And again, as I mentioned before, early on, you know, all the bells and whistles, all the toys that our guests want to do, paddle boarding, and basically that is it. So hopefully I gave you a good sense of what both Scenic and Emerald are about. Again, as I mentioned early on, it's one-stop shopping, in my opinion. No question about it. You don't really need to go anywhere else because you have great options. You've got the 5-star luxury, you've got the upper premium in the Emerald side, you've got the super yachts, you've got the luxurious, beautiful Eclipse. So it really is a fantastic, fantastic product. We're very proud of where we've come from, and I got to tell you, we're growing. We're growing. We've added to our staff internally. We've added obviously to our staff in the field, and we'll add additional tonnage down the road. So that's one thing that you can take to the bank, that we definitely are growing, and it's just a great company to work for. So also, I just want to let you know that you know, we do have several programs that are going on nowadays. As far as I know that we're doing, you know, we have some brochures that are coming out as far as single mini brochures. Discover the Americas in ultra luxury, talks about the Eclipse and where she's going. We have some great opportunities still yet for this year in 2022, you know, where we could do, you know, the Northwest Passage, or Inside Passage, Central America, things of that nature. So again, keep in mind that we do have some availability left, but it's a great opportunity. Another thing that I would like to touch on briefly is, as I mentioned early on, as far as the regional sales directors that we have in the field, you know, we're here, as I mentioned, to grow your business. That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. So if there's opportunities, again, as I mentioned, groups, but if there's events that you would like us to attend, please reach out to us. Absolutely reach out to us. We have a tremendous res staff right now. It's fantastic. But I really want to encourage everyone to use our Express book. We're doing a promotion now for a bonus commission on Express book. Anything from I think it's June 20th through the end of August. We've extended this, but basically it's for any 2022, 2023 Scenic and Emerald cruises. It's 5% bonus on the 2022 and 2023 departures, but they have to be booked and deposited through Express Book, the self-service portal. This does not apply to any bookings that are made through the call center. And again, as I mentioned before, all sailings applicable 2022 and 2023. And they're combinable with all offers except for Interline or Friends and Family. But again, remember, it has to be booked through the agent portal. And speaking of Express Books, we have some rock stars in the field that know it hand over fist. We also have some fantastic folks internally, where if you want a quick Express Book training, you can do that. But there's several opportunities for you to book with both Scenic and Emerald. So with that said, I think I'm going to turn it back over to Erin and see what we have going on, if there's any questions that folks have.
Wonderful, absolutely. Thank you so much, Tim. What a wonderful presentation. So to review questions, we've got quite a bit of response coming back in these questions, which is wonderful to hear. The one thing I do want to let people know is if we're not able to get to your question today, I will be sharing a list of questions with Tim to circle back with you directly. So to jump into some of these questions here.
This is always a scary part.
Tim, what would you say is the biggest selling point for the Eclipse line?
I'd have to say, I think of two reasons. I think the ship itself, it's absolutely incredible. It's beautiful, state of the art, and the destinations where she sails to. Obviously I could mention tons of things, but I'd have to say those two stick out to me. And right away, as soon as I went on the Eclipse, I thought there isn't a more beautiful discovery ship out there, and this is absolutely gorgeous. That I think would be number one.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, tell me a little bit about a lot of a particular advisor's clients are vegan or vegetarian. Will both brands be able to service their needs, gluten-free, etc.? Also, can you tell us a little bit more about the desserts available for those with a sweet tooth?
The desserts? Again, I could just go on and on and on. I mean, the desserts are, first of all, to address the vegan, and that is not an issue on the ships. As far as the desserts go, I mean, it's everything from just simple ice cream, wonderful ice cream, to pastries, to everything. It's just they're just incredible. And basically, I guess the one thing I could kind of refer to is when I was on the Eclipse, when I showed you the I think it's a Terrace dining room where we typically have breakfast and lunch. I will tell you that there wasn't a time that I was in that dining room where they have a little area where all the suites are, and there was always somebody in that area ordering their desserts. So, and this is again both for lunch and for dinner. So
excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, Tim, is butler service applicable to all cabins?
Yes, it is. All cabins, all Scenic ships.
Wonderful. And talk
so,
a little
they could have. I'm sorry. I was just going to say, all the way from the lowest cabin category all the way up to the highest. Butler service is
excellent. And just for some clarification, are all of the restaurants included in the price?
Yes, all restaurants are included in the price.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about the spa services. Are those included in the price?
No, the spa services are not included, and that would apply to, again, all the ships. So spa services are not included. The one thing I didn't touch on, and I apologize, is our free choice, our excursions themselves. We have our guests have an option once they book. Then they would fill out their trip personalizer, and that's when they can pick and choose all of their excursions that they would like to go on during the course of their cruise. And again, those are included.
Wonderful. And that kind of walks us right into our next question. Could you tell us about the included shore incursions in the yacht sailings? Are those included?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. And let's see here. So I am just scrolling through here. And like I said, we've got a few that are going to be just applicable to maybe an independent, or excuse me, an advisor independently. So we'll be able to follow up with those as well. But I will say we're getting a lot of questions about FAM opportunities or experiencing the ships for the advisor selves. Do you have travel agent rates, or
we do offer travel agent rates? We do. Let me just tell you this. Now's the time right now. I mean, there are some opportunities, obviously, with what we've gone through over the last couple of years. it's paramount to us to have advisors see our product. As I mentioned early on, when Ann was talking about when the ASTA advisors were on board the ship, they just raved about it. They did not realize that. I mean, again, they knew it was a good product, but at the end of the day, they didn't know it was just as wonderful as it was. So we highly encourage our travel advisors to come on board our vessels. You know, if there's availability, and we're offering it up to the agent community, have at it. And there's some great opportunities for sure.
Wonderful. And last couple here, just to wrap us up, is do you have elevators on the ships? Do you offer shower stools and toilet seats and seat risers?
You know, the toilet seats and seat risers, I'd have to get back with you on that, or if whoever's asked the question, maybe they could reach out to their regional sales director. But no on the elevators.
Got it. Thank you. And let's see here. So, and lastly, oh, excuse me, I'm just scrolling through here. Could you tell us a little bit about the vaccination requirements on the ships?
Okay, currently, as we speak, we do have you can actually go on our website. And, oh, one thing I also wanted to mention, if you go on our website, go into the travel planner forum or that area, they have a lot of updates on that. But basically, as it stands right now, you must be vaccinated. We recommend that our guests are boosted, have a booster shot. But at this point in time, yes, they have to be vaccinated. And quite honestly, it really will, it's obviously advantageous for the advisors depending on the destination, because some of the rules are different in certain destinations. But I know in order to get on our ships, you have to have proof of vaccination.
Thank you. And lastly, when will the 2020 and 2024 inventory be available?
I believe it's going to be probably within the next couple weeks, I believe. Yeah, I think.
Wonderful. We'll keep an eye out for that, and good to see. So we've got people that are excited for 2024 to be coming down. So
I know that 2024, I believe, with the yachts, the collection of that I believe is coming out, or is out, possibly even now. So where we're off introducing the Caribbean destinations. And think about that. I mean, I failed to mention that, but think about one of the Emerald yachts sailing in the Caribbean. How fantastic would that be? Amazing.
Well, let's see here. So thank you again for taking the time to answer those questions for us. And as I mentioned, I'll be sharing these list of questions. Any that we didn't get to, we'll be sharing with Tim to be able to follow up with directly and be able to go through that. And now it's time for the very anticipated winner drawing. So drum roll, please. And looks like we've got a winner of Joe Perry. Joe, congratulations. You are our lucky winner. And I'll be reaching out to you via email shortly to receive that $50 Amazon gift card provided by Scenic and Emerald Cruises. So
congratulations.
Wrap up some housekeeping. As I mentioned, this webinar was recorded. So if you'd like to listen to the presentation again, it will be available at asta.org. Thank you to our partners, Scenic and Emerald, for all you do and all of you who have joined our webinar today. This will conclude today's presentation, and we hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.